Hello, Fiona Whitten from Virtual Crafts here, and welcome to this evening's Virtual Card A Cuppa. I know I normally come on in the afternoon, but I had to take my mother to hospital today. Nothing serious, she just had a checkup on her eyes to go to the diabetic clinic, but it also meant that she had to have some drops in so she couldn't see anything, and so I was the guide into and out of, and obviously I drove home for her. Anyway, so I digress. I just wanted to let you know, yes, I'm not on at the usual time, but hey, hopefully you all caught the fact that I was going to be later. I'm just checking that this has gone live. I think it has. Let's see now. Oh, yep, brilliant. Okay, can't see comments, but that's okay. I know that everyone's there. Oh, hello, Esther. I can see some comments now. Brilliant. Okay, so this morning I was over at the Grange Chocolate Cafe, and we did a Card A Cuppa event there. Brilliant turnout, some new people, someone brought a granddaughter, so we all had a great time. And this was the kit that everybody had. And I will run you through it quickly so you can see what they had. So the usual envelope, so that's a basic white envelope. Today we were doing Christmas cards again, so it's that time of year, so everybody wants to make as many Christmas cards as possible so that if they leave it to the last minute, they don't have so many to make. So this is a piece of real red cardstock, which has been cut in half at 10.5 centimetres, so the other half would be over there. So yeah, over there. So 10.5, and that's the full length of the A4. So it's been scored and folded at 14.9 centimetres. You don't need to make a note of this. I will add it all on probably in the description that goes onto YouTube, because it's a lot easier to put it in there. Piece of basic white to go on the inside, because it's just a lot easier to write on white than it is on the real red. We have a piece of, this is painted Christmas paper. Now, some of you will remember it from last year. They did tell us when the Christmas catalogue last year retired that they would be bringing it back again this year. So, and they did, which is great. So this is the painted Christmas paper, and I die cut that using the Scalloped Contour Dies. And I don't know if you can see, so not only do we have the scallops going around the edge, but there's like little faux stitching that also goes all the way around on the inside. So it kind of looks like a picture frame. So we have that. We have a piece of the matching paper, which is only a 1 centimetre strip to decorate the inside. And then we have two die cut labels. So we've got a real red one and a basic white one. So they've been cut using the seasonal label dies. And I love these because you can layer them. And also it has like an embossed effect around the edge. Hopefully you can see. I don't know if you can see that. But it's really, really pretty. So we've got that. And then well, actually not last but not least, we have some ribbon. This is, I can't remember what it's called now. It's, I have to go and dig out the catalogue. But it's really, it's very soft and it's ribbed. And the other nice thing about it is that you can fray the edges, or the ends I should say, not the edges. So just by simply pulling that, you can make little frayed ends, which is great because it means that you can, especially for winter cards, you can sort of cut it and make it look a bit like a scarf. So you could tie it and do all sorts of things. So I'm just going to leave that to one side. So as you can see, it's really nice, really simple and easy to actually fray the ends. And I'm just going to do the other one because I can. So as you can see, it's just every so often it might stick and you just kind of need to sort of use your fingernails, or you can use a pair of scissors just to get it going again. Let's see if I can do one last one. You know what, I'm just going to cut that bit off. I've got two little bits then. So that's the ribbon. And then there are also two little rustic metallic dots. So I left them on the acetate and warned everybody that they were in the envelope so that they didn't sort of miss them and throw them away by mistake. So that was the kit that everybody had and used today. And I'm guessing you kind of want to see what I made. So this was the first card. Started off very simple and basically used everything. So here's my Scalloped Contour Die cut. Now, not everybody had the same paper. So this is Garden Green and obviously Real Red. Then I simply frayed the ends of the ribbon, just tucked it under. In fact, I used glue dots. You really don't want to use glue when it comes to ribbon because the ribbon just soaks it up. And then after a time, it will just work its way loose and it'll fall off. So you really want to use either glue dots or tape, tear tape. That works a treat. So that was glued on. And then I simply added the two labels, the white one after I had stamped. So the stamp comes from the Brightest Glow stamp set. This is a stamp set that I've used a lot this year. We've used it for the last couple of Card A Cuppa events, and I've just done one stamper stack, and then this coming weekend I have the second of the stamper stacks. And everyone's using that again, so it's a really good go-to. Sometimes you see a stamp set with all sentiments and like one or two, three even sometimes you don't like. I think there's maybe one here that I wouldn't use, and that's the Happy Holidays, because it's just not something that we say here in the UK. But the rest of it, I would use. And also it's nice because you can use one part on the front and then you could put a sentiment on in the inside, so it works that way too. So that's the stamp set. So this particular card I stamped using Garden Green, and then I put them on using foam pads, and then I just added my metallic dots, and then on the inside I glued the strip of paper first. So you want to, before you glue the piece of basic white in, you want to glue your strip on, be it going down the side or along the bottom, and then you want to trim off and then you can glue it in. There's nothing worse than trying to sticking that in first and then sticking this piece on and then trying to get your scissors underneath and have a nice neat line. So if you glue this on first, trim it, and then stick it inside the card, it makes life so much easier. So that was the first card. Hi, Katie. Just noticed that you've popped on. So I hope you're enjoying these and that you got your kit. So that was the first one. The second one, I decided I was going to turn it around, and I made it a portrait card rather than a landscape card. So it does mean that your fold is at the top. And then the other thing I did was, rather than using the original side of the paper, I actually used the reverse side because I just wanted a bit of a change. So this one's got acorns on, not acorns, what am I saying, acorns, fir cones on. Works just as well. The only thing is, some people may not like the fact that the dots, the stitching effect is actually raised up towards you. I actually quite like it because it does bring it, it shows it off more. It's not quite as subtle as it going downwards. And then I used Real Red and stamped the All Is Merry and Bright on the white, added them, and again, this time it does definitely look more like a scarf So we've got the frayed edges on the ribbon, put that on first, and then added the real red label and then the stamped sentiment. And again, the inside, just very simple. The piece of paper has just been glued along the bottom and then glued inside the card. So those two were just straightforward, using everything, and nice and simple. The third card, which I was actually surprised today, because I would say like 80% of the people there decided that this was what they were going to do. And I was trying to think outside the box, and I thought, okay, well, what we could do is we could cut the paper in half, but rather than cutting it along or down, we actually go diagonally. So this piece of paper was basically cut from bottom left to top right, just straightforward diagonal, and then simply glued direct to the real red card base. Sort of frayed the ribbon a little bit, and lo and behold, amazingly enough, as if it was meant to be, the ribbon actually fitted really neatly in the gap left by the two pieces of double-sided paper. So I used my glue dots. Actually, I think I might have used tape on this one, and then just sort of fixed it so it's not flapping around or anything. This was the strip that was originally designed to go inside. So I cut off a piece so that it would fit neatly, because I wanted more of the ribbon to show. So I cut some off, and then I bannered both ends. And again, then that got put on the ribbon using some tape. Oh, sorry, got loose hair. Stamped my sentiment onto the basic white label, and then just added those onto the card, and put on my metallic dots. Now, because I've used this, it kind of meant that I didn't have anything for the inside. So not wanting to waste anything, and you'll laugh at this, I actually made a little banner and a bow. So this bow is actually using the thread that I had taken off the ribbon. So I just literally tied that into a bow. This little piece here was the piece that was left over from this longer piece. And then I just simply put a banner end and just glued that little bit onto the white, tied my bow, fixed it on with a glue dot, put the whole thing in the card. So it was just adding some little interest and just simply using what I had left. Waste not, want not, and all that. So those are the three cards that I made and took with me this morning. And then now I guess I'm going to make a fourth card. And I really don't want to introduce anything new to the kit that we've got, or I've got. Some of you I know who are watching do have one. So I'm simply just going to use these pieces that I have. And somewhere, oh I know, I think I put it inside, I have the piece of basic white. But I'm going to be a little daring. This could go really well, or it could go a bit naffy, but hey. And I'm going to do some stamping on the card front. So I'm going to do some tone-on-tone stamping on here, just to give it a background. I'm going to use the Merry Christmas stamp from the Brightest Glow stamp set. I just need to get mine. So I'm going to use real red ink on real red cardstock. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to open up the card. Although I want it to be going over the fold, I'm not too worried about it actually sitting on the back too much. I just want to make sure that the image goes over. And then the idea is that you don't need to be too regimental with this. you want to just make sure that you're covering as much as possible. So I'm just going to simply make sure, as you can see, that's the tone on tone effect. So I'm going to put the next one like here. And then the next one here. And I'm just going to really simply cover the card front as much as possible. And as I said, I'm not worried about the fact that it's gone off the edge. Sometimes having it going off the edge grounds the card, and it just makes it. There we go. So I think I'm happy with that. Let's close it and see. So that's my Merry Christmas all over the front. I'm going to just put that stamp to one side and close up my ink pad so that I don't end up with it everywhere. Now I've got a piece of ribbon. I'm going to use this again simply because I'm going to do something different on the inside. And in fact, actually, I think I might do the inside first so that you can see what I'm up to. So normally you would just simply put the basic white inside, having put the paper on either the edge or the bottom. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure. So I just want to measure like inside the dotted bits. So I know that, say for example, this is like almost 10 by I say 6.6. So I'm going to take a centimetre off. So I'm going to cut this with my trimmer. And I said 6.6, didn't I? So if I get my trimmer, double check. They always say, check your measurements, check twice, cut once. So I won't need it at 5.6. So that's going to be that. And the reason I'm making it a bit smaller is simply because I want to have some of the piece showing. So I'm just going to have it so that it has this nice edge like that. And then you can still write on that. And I'm just going to glue that inside my card like that. So that's going to be where you can still stamp on that if you want to. Or you can just leave it blank so that whoever's sending it, well, it should be you sending it, I'm assuming, then it can simply... Oh, Katie, you lost me. Okay, yeah. Once upon a time, you could have blamed me, but actually we've got really good internet signal here now, so, yeah. It used to be so bad here, it's just like I wasn't sure what I was doing half the time and who was watching, if everybody had just disappeared. But hey, the wonders of technology. So that's just going to get glued on there. This is going to get glued inside the card. So now that I've done it, I can't do anything else with it. So it's going to have to go inside the card, and it just means that I can't put it on the front, but that's fine. That's the whole idea of me being here, just sharing ideas with you all, so that you can say, oh, I didn't really like that, but oh, I like that bit of it. And you can take what you like from it as to what bit you want to use and what bit you don't. So I've still got this piece of white, but I'm not sure that I'm actually going to use it. In fact, I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to. So I'm going to put that to one side. Now I need to stamp a sentiment. And the question is, do I want to keep it real red again? So basically, although we have some green that will come in from this. So I think I might actually bring some green in because we have the real red here stamped on the real red. I don't know if you can actually see it. I have my lights here mean that I have to turn the main lights off, otherwise all you can see is shadows. So, and it's dark outside. I can't believe how quickly it went dark, but then again I just looked at the clock and it's like 10 to 8. Well, oh well. Okay, right, so sentiment. I think I'm going to do garden green. So here we go, some garden green ink. Sentiment. So I've got 'Tis the Season, and I put something else on here. To you and yours this Christmas. I think I'm just going to do 'Tis the Season. So ink that up, and I'm just going to simply stamp. This is where I hope that my stamp is straight. And it was a bit wonky, but hey, as I say, it's a handmade card. I could turn it over and then you'd have the embossed part actually being raised up. But, so that's going to go on there like that. Now I've got ribbon, I've got paper. So the $64 million question is what am I going to do with it? So we could just have it be boring and have it going straight across. Obviously it would need to be trimmed a bit. Oh, we could do that. Maybe do what I did before and just simply cut a piece off and banner it. So I'm going to cut that bit off like that. Quick way to make a banner is to simply cut up the middle and then cut from the two corners to the point in the middle, like so, and hopefully completely missed that. That's not very good. A bit better. And then similarly again on the other end, like so. Now, how long is that ribbon? So that ribbon's actually quite long. Maybe I don't need it to be that long, so I'm going to have to chop some of that off. Let's see, let's take it there, which means I'm going to have to take off a bit of the end again. Yeah, that's okay. I'm not going to use this piece to make bows and things. You could do, but I don't think I'm going to today. And how much of this you want to fray is really up to you. I mean, you can go the whole hog and do quite a bit of it. Let's see what happens if you do it. Make it quite a wide area. Just use my scissors just to tease that out a bit. Probably shouldn't have pulled quite so much at the same time. Hey, there we go. It's like seeing that bit on a carpet that you're just tempted to pull, but you know you really shouldn't, otherwise you are going to pull it all apart, or a jumper for that matter. When my mum used to knit a lot, and if she ever made a bit of a boo-boo, she would say to me, do you want to sit and just basically pull it and take it apart again so that she could then re-knit it. But the only downfall for that one was that I actually had to roll wool as I was sort of pulling it. So what's that? Maybe we'll do a bit more. As I said, just tease it out and then cut it. That bit does not want to play ball with this. I don't know why. It will come. But I think I'll cut that and then just, as I said, tease it apart again. It should be okay. It's actually looking like one of those now where you'd actually knot the ends. That's not so good. I don't really want that. That's coming. Right, I'm not going to play with it for too much longer because you're all going to tell me to get on with it. Right, that's it. That will do. Just cut off that stray bit there so it doesn't look too out of place. There we go. So that's going to go on there. This piece now is, that's actually just about right, I would say. So we could put it at an angle, put this on straight, or we could put that straight, that on at an angle, or we could just put it all on straight. And I think this time around I am just going to put it all on straight. And I've got some tear and tape. So I'm just going to put this piece on here. Oh, look at that. As if by magic, perfect length. Pull that off. Add it to here. Problem with this is that I can never actually see both ends. Right, just go for it, I think. Well, it's not too far out. I could actually put it off and put it back on again. Excuse my daughter. She'd forgotten. She had to get a new front door key cut for her house. We've got some workmen in at the moment and they couldn't, one of the keys didn't work. So I'm having fun dealing with that as well. There we go. So I'm just going to stick that straight across like so to try and get it even. And then that and that. So I'm going to use foam pads for these. I'm not going to worry too much about putting foam. You can just stick the foam pads along the middle there if you want to. And hey, I haven't lost them today. I'm sure there's time still. So I'm just simply going to do that. Put them on top and bottom. And then the ribbon will just run through here. It's not like there's any real weight to the label, so done. And in fact, you can, if you want to, let's just see, put that on top. You could have it one end or the other. It's really up to you. Just trying again, as I said, to get it in the middle. Hopefully that's it. I think I'm in the middle of that, but I don't know if I'm... Oh, it's not too bad actually. That's this one. So that's really the second one with the sentiment on. Get some more dimensionals. Of course, remember, the more dimensionals, the more height you put on it, you're going to then have to send it as a large letter rather than a standard letter in the post. Obviously, if you're just giving them to people, then that's not an issue, because obviously, if you're just giving it in person, then it's not going to cost you any more to do one that is got lots of foam pads on compared to one that doesn't. Right, I'm just going to use my Take Your Pick tool to pick these up because it's a lot. I was going to say it was a lot easier, and it's just proved me wrong. Great. I'll just use my fingers instead. So, and again, you can put, these can be added wherever you want. So you could put them on the red. You could, in fact, even put them on here. So wherever it is that you want to put them, add them. And then really, that's it for that card. So that one is done. So we've got a fairly simple front and a nicely decorative inside. So that's the fourth card, done and dusted. So today's the last day for ordering kits for November. If you want to do that, if you go to oakvillecrafts.com and then hover at the top where it says classes kits, and then there'll be a pop down that says Card and a Cuppa kits, and you can just go on there and pay for your kits for next month. In fact, actually, I have a suspicion it might end today, it might now even. If that's the case and you want them, then please let me know, and I can just add you and send you an invoice for. It's £5 for the two, so you get two kits, one for the first Wednesday and the other for the second Wednesday. And then obviously, if you can't make it in person, then I am here usually in the afternoon, same day at 2:30. Sometimes, today being a case in point, I'm in the evening. But I try and make it the same day. It doesn't always work, especially when you're mid-Atlantic, which is what happened last time. But hey, anyway, so those are the 4 cards. I hope you've enjoyed seeing those. If you'd like to purchase any of the supplies, then you can do so online at oakvillecrafts.stampinup.net, and then just click on the Shop Now button there. Card and a Cuppa I've mentioned. We're on now, crumbs, the 19th of October. Wow, crumbs, this year has just gone by. So October is the starter kit plus month, so you get extra, you get to order extra goodies in your starter kit if you want to go that route. Clearance rack got updated. I think a lot of it went really, really quickly. I know a couple of you managed to grab some of the paper, which I think that just flew off the shelf. So good for you. And that is it, really. I'll be back next week with some stamping and creating on the Wednesday afternoon at 2:30, provided nothing else gets in the way. And I'm planning on it not, but life has this habit of throwing you a curveball. So, and that's it for now. So take care, and I will see you soon. Bye.